I want to begin by thanking you all for being here today because you are able now to amplify and elevate the stories of these families from Uvalde. As Veronica just reminded us, it has been 18 weeks and not a single thing has changed to make it any less likely that any other child in any other classroom in any other community in Texas will meet the same fate as these 19 children did on the 24th of May of this very year, along with their two extraordinary teachers who had already sacrificed so much for those kids day in and day out and ultimately gave their lives for them. The answers are before us, and you've heard the parents themselves who know this better, unfortunately, than any of us here do, that raising the age of purchase for a weapon originally designed for war. Felix, who served twice in Iraq, willing to put his life on the line for this country, described coming back safely to the United States of America, to Uvalde, but his daughter up against one of those weapons of war, not able to make it through that school day or through that school year. Raising the minimum age of purchase to 21 is something that not only do all of us here agree on, not only does the mayor of Uvalde and the entire city council, who, as Veronica said, demanded that the governor call a special session to bring Republicans and Democrats around the table to do just that. But I've traveled to every part of this state, literally. Listened to people who are for me. I've listened to people who will never vote for me. All of them agree that this makes sense. It allows us to continue to defend the Second Amendment while better protecting the lives of our children. I want to anticipate a question that some of you might have, that I've heard at these town halls across the state. But Beto, criminals won't follow the law. It won't matter what we do. I think in some cases we have to acknowledge that's true. But this troubled young man in Uvalde patiently waited till he was 18 years old, never tried to acquire that firearm when he was 16 or 17. Upon his 18th birthday, he was legally able to go into a gun store and buy not one, but two AR-15s and hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Republicans, Democrats, independents, gun owners alike all agree that raising the age allows us at least 3 more years for some kind of intervention in a person's life like this young man in Uvalde. Other common sense, common ground ideas I've heard, a red flag law, which simply says that if you already have that firearm and you're threatening to use it against yourself or use it against someone in your life or take it into a classroom, we should remember that this shooter in Uvalde was signaling so strongly what he might do that his friends called him the school shooter before he ever walked into Robb Elementary on the 24th of May 2022. A red flag law could save lives. A universal background check, which just simply says that in addition to the background check that takes place at a federally licensed gun dealer, if you buy at a gun show or from a private seller, you go through a background check as well. Again, I have yet to meet the Texan who will argue that point, except for Greg Abbott. He's called special sessions to determine which kids can go to which bathrooms. He's called special sessions to determine which version of history we're allowed to teach in our schools. He's called 2 special sessions to weaken our right to vote, but 18 weeks and counting, and all of us today are still counting. He has yet to lift a finger to call a special session, to bring people around the table, to move forward on common sense solutions that defend the Second Amendment while better protecting the lives of our kids, our families, and the people in our communities. As you listen to Kimberly and to Felix, as you listen to Javier and Gloria, as you just listened to Veronica, who stands here with Jerry, as we think about the lives lost, taken from us, Lexi and Jackie and Tess, and although they didn't speak, Nevaeh's family is here, Annabelle's family is here, and I have a card signed by many of the other families in Uvalde who lost a loved one. I just want you to know this. Though Greg Abbott has set the conditions of tonight's debate, that not a single one of his constituents in this state is allowed in a hall that seats hundreds, not even these families here. I will be carrying this card, tokens and mementos that other families have given me, their stories and their spirit and their leadership into that debate. And every single day of this campaign and every single day that I draw a breath,